Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Erin and for today's video I am going to be doing my March and April book haul. So I acquired too many books within the past 2 months, but I decided that I would combine them. There are definitely more books in this haul than there were in my February book haul, divided up over 2 months, but I still have very bad spending habits, and so next month I am limiting the amount of books that I purchase because this is seriously getting out of hand. But some of them were given to me from my grandma, so like maybe that makes it a little better. I mean, there were only 3, but it's fine. Let's just get started. I'm going to go in order of how I got them, or like how I purchased them. So yeah, I think that's all there is to say. Let's just get started. This is like embarrassing how many there are. Really quickly, I don't know that I'll be able to go into tons of summary for all of these because there are literally so many. There are 22 books in this book haul, so I probably won't be able to go into too much summary about them. I'm sorry. Also, the reason that my shelves kind of look destroyed in the background is because they're all newer books that are on this shelf, so what are you gonna do? Alright, let's get started. First book is a poetry book, and this is The Mermaid's Voice Returns in this one by Amanda Lovelace. This is the 3rd installation in the poetry trilogy that is Women Are Some Kind of Magic or Wonderful or something like that by Amanda Lovelace. This is the 3rd one and my personal favorite. You can watch my March wrap-up if you are curious. I think it might be over here, but maybe it's over there. But you can watch that if you're curious on my thoughts. But yeah, poetry collection. I don't really know how else to summarize this for you. There are a lot of Disney inspired poems, and I thought that was really, really cool. And there are a lot of different authors included in this, so that's another really cool touch if you're looking for more poetry to get into. The next one that I purchased is one that I have not shut up about and I now have a book talk for, and that is Into the Drowning Deep by Mira Grant. Like I said, I have not shut up about this. I have a book talk for it, so if you're curious, I'll again link that. This is a science fiction horror novel about sirens, and it's incredible. I highly recommend it. If you want to see me gush aside from my book talk, you can watch any of my March reading vlogs as well as my March wrap-up. The next 2 books I picked up from my local bookstore. The first one was one that I never actually intended to pick up, but they know me very well there since I go in so frequently, and one of the girls that I see the most there recommended me this book. She said, "Have you read this?" I said no. She walked me over to where it was and then put it in my hands, and I bought it because I can't say no to people. And that is The Bear and the Nightingale by Catherine Arden. This is the first book in the Winter Night trilogy. The only reason that I wasn't going to pick this one up was because everyone, I feel like, doesn't really love this book, but they love the rest of the trilogy. So I guess it's not that bad, and I will pick it up. I'm not quite sure when, hopefully sooner rather than later. I am intrigued now that I have it to see what my thoughts will be, and if I'll be like with the majority, or if I will actually enjoy it, or if I'll completely hate it. So I'm very curious, but it is a beautiful cover, I will admit. And then the next book is one that if you haven't seen it on BookTube, you must be new, and that is Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Literally, if you haven't seen this anywhere, you must not have social media, because this is everywhere right now. This is about a band that was, I believe, in the 60s or the 70s, and they rapidly came to fame, and they were really, really popular for a minute, and then the band broke up randomly. Nobody knows what happened, and so this is a series of interviews talking about how they all came together, how they all met, what their successes were like, as well as how they again fell apart in the end. And everyone like absolutely loves this book. I'm not very far into it. I am currently reading it, so I don't know how I feel about it, but I'll let you know. I don't really have anything else to say about this except literally everyone loves it, and I'm just very confused. Then I placed an order on Amazon for 6 books. So the first one was Roomies by Christina Lauren. This is an adult contemporary novel about these people that meet on the subway, and the girl shows interest in this guy, but he is an immigrant, and so they get married so that he can get his visa or his green card, and they are obviously living together, and then their feelings become real and they fall in love. So I have not read this one either yet, but I am looking forward to it. Everyone really loves Christina Lauren books, so I'm hoping that I will also. The next one is Daughter of the Burning City by Amanda Foody. I unboxed this in my April TBR. This is about a girl who can create these illusions, and she works for this festival of Gomorrah, and her illusions aren't real, but they feel like family to her, and then all of a sudden her illusions start dying off and she's very confused, and it's like a fantasy thriller. This is Amanda Foody's debut. It came out years ago, and now her 3rd book is coming out. This is a standalone, so it's not in a series, but I am very excited. Emma Books talked about this and really loved it, and I haven't really heard anyone else talk about it. So again, I'm very intrigued to see how I feel about it. The next book I have heard Riley Marie talk about, but aside from that, I don't think I've heard anyone else talk about it, and I'm confused because I see it every time I go into the bookstore, and that is Ruin of Kings by Jen Lyons. This also seems like a book that BookTube would be all over. It is a high fantasy novel. It is adult, I believe, and there are dragons, obviously, and it's about this guy that has grown up basically like a little farm boy, and he then finds out as an adult that he is actually the son of a treasonous prince, and so he gets jailed away, and he's very confused, and he finds out that all of the stories that he heard growing up are not as epic as they claim to be, and apparently he's destined to destroy the empire. This came out, I believe, early this year, and the 2nd book is coming out in November, so I am super intrigued to pick this one up, and I also didn't know it was adult fantasy, so this will be me dipping my toe into that for the first time, and that should be interesting. Next, I have a couple of comics. So I have a film comic and a graphic novel. The graphic novel that I picked up is Snot Girl by Brian Lee O'Malley. This is volume 1, Green Hair Don't Care. This is in the weekly reading blog that I did this month. This is about a girl who is a fashion blogger and online seems to have her whole life together, but then in reality she has these allergies that are taking over her life, and she gets these new allergy medications, and it's just kind of that. But this book was so confusing. I'll talk about it more in my wrap up, but I picked this up because I saw Emma Green pick it up, and I trust her opinion when it comes to graphic novels and stuff because she reads quite a few of them, and so I thought I would try it too. Not a fan, to be honest. Fortunately, I did absolutely love this film comic that I picked up, and that is Kiki's Delivery Service Volume 1. The screenplay was written by Hayao Miyazaki. I'll talk about this in my wrap-up, but it's essentially about a 13-year-old witch, and when they reach the age of 13 in this world, they have to go and try to make their way, and it's very cute, and I cannot wait to pick up the rest of them. Next, I have another one that I feel is slowly integrating its way into a very popular BookTube book, and that is Radio Silence by Alice Oseman. This is very similar to Eliza and Her Monsters, but instead of it being a webcomic, this is about a podcast, and the girl makes fan art for it, and the creator of the podcast is anonymous, and then her and the creator become very good friends, and then something happens and she worries about the podcast and her friendship with the kid. And Paperback Dreams, absolutely loved this book. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars, but this is not a wrap up, so I'll talk about it more there, but it reminds me a lot of Eliza and Her Monsters. Next, I picked up another series. So I picked up An Ember in the Ashes and A Torch Against the Night by Sava Tahir. Again, you can hear me talk a little bit about, I think, each of these in the reading vlog that I did this month. Everyone talks about these, so I feel like they don't really need an explanation, but I picked those up. They're incredible. So like, these were another series that I never thought I would actually pick up because they didn't sound that intriguing, but I picked up the first one in Barnes & Noble and sat down to read the first couple of chapters and just had to take it home with me. I became so obsessed with it, and so then as soon as I was like almost done with this one, I went and picked up this one, and they've taken over my life. It's really okay. Next is another fantasy book, the first in a series, but it was just recently published and I have seen it all over Goodreads, Bookstagram, and BookTube, and that is Wicked Saints by Emily A. Duncan. This one just says, the thing that like really intrigued me about this was a portion of the synopsis. It's a very vague synopsis, but it says, a girl named Nadia who hears the whispers of the gods inside her head, a prince surrounded by desperate suitors and deadly assassins, a monster hidden behind pale, tortured eyes, and a smile that cuts like a knife. And that is just so intriguing. Plus, like, the cover is absolutely stunning, so I'm excited. This is one that I'll probably pick up next month, but yeah, I'm obsessed with this. This is incredible. Well, I mean, I haven't read it, but like, it was beautifully created. Then the next 3 books are books that my grandma brought me because we kind of share books a little bit. I will give her a book to read and then she'll read it, tell me what she thinks of it, and it's kind of like our own miniature book club, and then she'll give them to me, and because I like to collect books, obviously, I will just keep them, and she would ordinarily just give them away, so it's not like I'm taking them from my grandma, I promise. The first one is A Winter's Promise by Christelle Dabo. This was translated from French, and it's about a girl who can travel through mirrors, and I think she gets married off and she doesn't want to be. So this is the first book that has been translated to English. I don't know when the second one is being translated, but I'm very excited for it. They all have absolutely stunning covers, which was why I picked it up for my grandma to read, but then she absolutely loved it. And like, the synopsis kind of reminds me of Harry Potter for some reason, even though I don't think it's similar at all. But it's fine. I'm excited to read it. Then I have the last book in a series, and that is Kingdom of Ash by Sarah J. Maas. I have not read the entire series. I only made it up to Heir of Fire. Also, I don't know what's happening to my voice. I'm sorry. But now that I have the whole series, maybe I'll actually marathon it. This book is freaking huge, and my grandma got the special edition that has the beautiful artwork on the end pages, and I am absolutely obsessed. I don't know who those people are because I only made it to Heir of Fire, but I know that's Manon, and it's stunning. The last book that I got from my grandma was Arch Enemies by Marissa Meyer. This is the second book in the Renegades series, and the third one is Supernova that comes out next year, I believe. I have not read these, but these are ones that I want to get to this summer, just because there are a bunch of books that I really want to get to in May, so this will probably be like maybe a June thing. But they're like superhero stories, and that sounds so good, especially because Endgame comes out in 4 days when I'm filming this, and I'm so freaking pumped. You guys may not know, but I am a huge Marvel fan, so I think maybe after that is over, I might need like something to cure my hangover. Then I placed another order because I have no self-control. The first book was This Savage Song by Victoria Schwab. I placed this order on Barnes & Noble because they were having like a $10 off a $50 purchase, so I figured that was a good deal. And I've been wanting to read this, but I wanted the hardcover, and my store is only selling paperbacks right now. So I picked it up, and this is definitely one that I'm going to be getting to next month, so I'm super freaking pumped. It's beautiful. I've wanted to read this book since it came out. I just never pulled the trigger for some reason, and now I have it, and now I'm going to read it, and I have a feeling it's going to absolutely take over my life. It's fine. Then the reason that I placed the order in the first place was I wanted the 10th anniversary edition of Name of the Wind because I saw it in stores and I had a coupon, and I figured if I'm going to get this book I should use the coupon probably because it's a $40 book. But it's stunning. It has the red sprayed edges, but what really sold me on it and the whole reason that I wanted it was because it has like a little letter in there, and it says, "My name is Kavoth. I have stolen princesses back from sleeping barrow kings. I burned down the town of Trebon. I have spent the night with Valerian and left with both my sanity and my life. I was expelled from the university at a younger age than most people are allowed in. I tread paths by moonlight that others fear to speak of during day. I've talked to gods, loved women, and written songs that make the minstrels weep. You may have heard of me." And like, I've been wanting to pick up The Name of the Wind, but that just like absolutely sold me on it, and so I wanted the copy that like made me want to read it. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. And then the second reason that I made that purchase was because I needed a Reaper at the Gates after finishing A Torch Against the Night by Sabaa Tahir. I am currently reading this, currently dying. I'm obsessed with this series. I don't think that there's anything else to say. I really want this to be published in paperback, and I want the other two to be published in hardcover so that I can have matching copies. Is that so hard? The last 3 books in this book haul were books that I actually purchased for my grandma. So as I said earlier, my grandma and I kind of share books, and I buy them for her for like Christmas and stuff, but she will buy me books all year long because she's amazing and completely spoils me. And so I wanted to return the favor. I only got her a few books, and I know that's like not even the start of it, but I do what I can with my part-time job. So the first book that, so let me explain this. I picked up books, had her read the synopsis, and whatever intrigued her, that's what she got. I didn't just pick these books for her, but I did have an idea going into it what I thought she would end up liking and what she would end up picking. So the first one is The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater, and she is currently reading this. I think she's like 100-ish pages in, and she's really enjoying it, and she's going to finish this before she goes. So I will be reading this soon, you guys. I was excited. I'm not going to explain this because 1, I frankly don't really understand the plot, and 2, everyone has talked about it for years, so I don't think I need to. Then she picked out, / I picked out The Vanishing Stair by Maureen Johnson. This is the sequel to Truly Devious, which she previously read and absolutely loved. She didn't pick this one up though because it's hardcover and she didn't want to spend that much money, but like I don't really mind. Plus I'm going to keep it, so I want the covers to match. She is also going to be reading this while she stays here and then leave it behind for me to read. So once I'm done with Truly Devious, I can also read this, and that'll be exciting. But yeah, this book stack's getting a little tall. I bought her another book, but my grandpa returned to their home today and he took it with him, and so I don't have that. So when I get it back from them, I will haul it again. Or haul it, I guess. But I did buy 1 book for myself, and that was Monstrous by Marjorie Liu and Sana Takada. This is like a steampunk fantasy adult graphic novel, and it sounds amazing. I've seen it before, I don't remember where, but then I saw it in the bookstore and it looked really, really cool. The art style looked really, really cool. And so I'm excited to read it. This is volume 1, and I think it's a trilogy. This one is called Awakening, and it seems really, really cool. I haven't read it, but it was only $10, and so I was like, plus it's like a rather thick graphic novel, so I didn't think that that would be that bad. Alright, let's try to do the book stack thing, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to. I'm definitely not going to be able to. There are too many. Okay, here's the first half of it. I knew that would happen. We're okay. Only 2 books fell. No, not again. Okay, we're gonna try one more time for this freaking thumbnail. This is like the first half of the books that I hauled today. Hold on, I'll grab the second half. Okay, it was like 2/3, I guess. Why is this half heavier? Okay, really? There are not even that many books. Okay, this is like the second, much smaller half of the books that I hauled today. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I know it was ridiculous. I know I have a problem, but I am going to be doing hauls bi-monthly now, and hopefully they will become smaller. Oh, I wanted to show you guys this bookmark. I showed it in a vlog, I think in March, but I wanted to show you guys here because it's really cool. It is from the Etsy shop My Bookmark, and they are made, I believe, in the Ukraine, right? Yep. Creatively handcrafted in the Ukraine, and they're stunning. They have these little things at the end that stick out of your book. And this one is a dragon one because I have picked up so many fantasies lately that have dragons in them. I wanted to be able to use this because I'm that girl. But it says, it simply isn't an adventure worth telling if there aren't any dragons, and that is from Game of Thrones, another series that I want to pick up. Don't worry, I'll hold off. But that's just what it looks like. I think it's so cool. And then, yeah, I just wanted to show you guys that. Also, the packaging is super dope that it comes in. So yeah, just wanted you guys to see that. Anyway, that is it for this book haul. I hope that you guys enjoyed. I know that it's exuberant and that I really need to chill. I'm working on it. But nonetheless, I hope that you guys enjoyed, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye, guys. Also, people keep saying that, like, certain heroes are gonna die, and I didn't even know it, and now, like, I really don't want them to die. Like, I don't even want to see it. Like, I just want them to live forever because they're my favorites.